The corruption of kings. In the elder days of Middle-earth, long before the War of the Ring, there arose whispers of power that would bind mortal hearts to darkness. 9 kings they were, leaders of men, proud and strong, yet vulnerable to the lure of immortality and dominion. It is said that Sauron, then known as Annatar, the Lord of Gifts, came among the kingdoms of men in a fair guise, offering rings of power as tokens of his generosity. Each ring was a masterpiece of enchantment, forged under Sauron's careful direction. The 9 rings bestowed upon their bearers extraordinary longevity, vision, and influence over their subjects. The kings became wise beyond their years and mighty in their rule, their realms flourishing with wealth and authority. But the gifts of Sauron were double-edged, for these rings were not free of shadow. The men who accepted them were from various realms, from the towering cities of Númenor's descendants in the west to the mysterious lands of Rhûn and Harad in the east. Each king believed himself above temptation, yet slowly, over centuries, their wills were bent. The rings did not grant true immortality, but instead stretched their lives into an unending twilight. The kings' mortal forms faded, leaving only their spirits tethered to the material world by Sauron's dark power. Thus were the 9 enslaved, their identities stripped, their legacies reduced to terror and shadow. It was in the Second Age, when Sauron first rose to full strength, that the 9 appeared as the Nazgûl, Ringwraiths, servants of the Dark Lord. The greatest of them was the Witch-king, who became Sauron's general and his instrument of dread. Though none remember his true name, he was believed to have been a mighty sorcerer king of Númenorian blood, his pride matched only by his fall. For nearly 2,000 years, the 9 served Sauron openly, spreading terror across Middle-earth. When the War of the Last Alliance culminated in Sauron's defeat, the Nazgûl vanished into the shadows, scattered and silent, biding their time. Without the One Ring to guide them, they were like wolves without a master, powerful yet directionless. But as the years wore on, whispers of their return would haunt the hearts of men. The Riders in Shadow. As the Third Age dawned, the memory of the Ringwraiths became but a dark tale told by firelight, a legend half forgotten by men who had grown complacent. Yet, evil does not die so easily, and shadows linger where eyes dare not look. Sauron's spirit, though defeated, endured. In the black lands of Mordor, the Dark Tower of Barad-dûr was rebuilt, and the 9 were summoned once more. The Nazgûl returned to Middle-earth in secret, serving as Sauron's chief agents. Their first task was to find the One Ring, which had been lost to the world after Isildur's demise. Guided by whispers and fear, they rode in disguise, cloaked in black and veiled from mortal eyes. Their presence could drain courage from even the bravest hearts, and those who felt their breath or gaze would be left with nightmares that lingered for a lifetime. The Witch-king re-emerged as the leader of the 9, establishing his domain in Angmar, a frozen and desolate realm in the north. There, he waged war against the kingdoms of Arnor, the descendants of Númenor. Through treachery, sorcery, and brute strength, the Witch-king oversaw the ruin of Arnor, breaking its kingdoms one by one. Men called him the King of Angmar, yet they feared to speak his true title. The other Nazgûl, though lesser in renown, were no less deadly. They struck from the shadows, serving as Sauron's spies, assassins, and enforcers. It was they who later hunted for Gollum and the Shire in Sauron's pursuit of the ring, their presence heralded by a bone-chilling cry that echoed through forests and fields. During the War of the Ring, the Nazgûl were at the height of their power. Mounted upon black steeds, and later upon monstrous fell beasts that soared through the skies, they became the embodiment of fear. It was the Witch-king himself who led the assault on Minas Tirith during the Battle of Pelennor Fields, wielding a power so great that none dared stand before him, save for one. The prophecy spoken long ago came to pass: "No man may hinder me." Yet it was Éowyn, shield maiden of Rohan, and Merry the Hobbit who struck the fatal blow. The Witch-king was destroyed, his form unmade, and with him the might of the Nazgûl was broken. The remaining Ringwraiths fell with the destruction of the One Ring, as Sauron's power was unbound, and they passed into shadow, never to walk Middle-earth again. Beyond the Veil of Shadows, and yet even as the age of Sauron ended, questions remained. What truly became of the Nazgûl? Were they annihilated utterly, or did their spirits linger in the void, awaiting another chance to return? It is said that the Nazgûl were bound irrevocably to the power of the One Ring, and with its destruction, they were cast into the void beyond time. Yet in the dark corners of Arda, some believe the essence of the Nine endures, fragments of their hatred lingering like a sickness that refuses to die. Though they no longer possess form or will, they remain a cautionary tale, a reminder of the corruption that comes from unchecked ambition. In the ages to come, whispers will rise again. In the Fourth Age, after the departure of the elves and the waning of magic, men will forget much of the terror of old. Yet evil has a way of surviving, for darkness is as much a part of the world as light. If another power rises, if rings are forged anew or relics of Sauron's age are unearthed, perhaps the spirits of the Nazgûl could return, not as lords of shadow but as formless wraiths, seeking a new master to bind them. The legacy of the Nazgûl lies not only in their deeds but in their warning. Power without wisdom is a path to ruin, and those who seek to dominate will find themselves dominated. Their names have been lost, their histories erased, but their shadows linger still, a dark echo that calls to the hearts of the ambitious and the weak. Let their tale be remembered, so that men may turn from the path of greed and despair. For though the Ringwraiths have passed, Middle-earth will ever remain a land of peril, where even in times of peace, the shadows watch and wait. Thus ends the tale of the Nazgûl, the 9 servants of the Dark Lord, whose fate was bound to the One Ring. May their shadows never rise again, and may their deeds be a warning to all who would dare to seek power beyond their ken.